My turn?
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my thread. We'll give you another story from the Ask Reddit thread, okay? I have a tale. This is my parents' story, but it is so good the internet needs it. Sorry for the extreme length. This is a 2-hour story when my parents tell it. They remember it more vividly than I could type it.
Jeez.
This is 100% real. If you think otherwise, bugger off.
Scram.
Get out of here.
No, have you seen the TikTok?
No.
Whatever.
Back in the 80s, my parents had just gotten married, graduated from college, and had my big brother. They moved into a small house in a very affluent neighborhood north of Milwaukee. The house was surprisingly in their budget. Again, they just graduated from college and med school with a little one. But the house was the smallest on the block. My parents made an offer that was a few under the asking price. 2 other couples offered more than the asking. There was a bidding war. However, the old man that owned the house rejected both of those offers and said he wanted my parents to have it. He said he and his late wife would have both agreed that it was the right thing to do. My folks were super grateful and are extremely excited to be living in the neighborhood. There are many youngsters, so my brother has lots of playtime. Life was very good. Then shit starts going down. The first thing was with the basement. So, during this time, my mom stayed at home with my brother and my dad was getting his practice started. He worked super late and was only home on Sundays basically. My mom did laundry in the basement and one day she was walking up the stairs. A red light at the bottom of the stairs turned on. Now, I am told this is a super bright light and the switch for it was taken out long ago. It was almost like a fallout shelter emergency light with a cage on it. My mom didn't know what to think, so she starts going downstairs to investigate, and the light turns off. She figures that maybe it was some sort of surge. The next day, she goes downstairs again, comes up, and the light is on again. Again, starts walking back down, and it turns off. She does not shrug it off this time. She waits a bit at the bottom of the stairs and then walks back upstairs. The light turns on, and she runs down this time to catch it. Only this time, it starts flashing like a strobe light before she can even reach the bottom. She noped the fuck out of the house so quickly with my brother and didn't go back for the rest of the day. The light never turned on for my dad or turned on again after that day. After the red light thing, my mom is naturally shook up. She is scared to go downstairs without my dad, and rightfully so. But there was something that started before the red light, but escalated after. Knocking. My parents figure this was originally just natural sounds of the house as it was fairly old. It would be very sporadic and very infrequent until one night. My parents were in bed chatting about the day, bills, etc. They then start hearing knocking. It started in their room under the bed, then on the walls and the ceiling. It would be about 30 seconds apart and they could not find a source. Then it sounded like the knocking was outside their room, so they got up and tried following the sound to find where it was. They went all over the house trying to figure out where it came from. Every time they thought they found the source, it would jump back to a different side of the room. They eventually were in the foyer/living room and tracked the knocking super frequently and super loud to the foyer closet. My mom had a fireplace poker in hand and my dad had a bat. He crept towards the closet and as he reached for the doorknobs, a voice called out to them, "Knock, knock." He swung the doors open. There was nothing there, and all the knocking stopped. My parents could do nothing but stare at each other. Neither of them slept that night. After the red light and the knock-knock, my parents are wary of this house. My mom is on the verge of a breakdown and not dealing with this well at all. Remember, she is in the house all day with this nonsense. My dad is usually more skeptical towards this kind of stuff, but he knows something is wrong and thinks my mom is totally justified in her feelings. Well, we fast forward a few weeks, maybe even a month. It is a normal night like any other. My parents are asleep in their room, my brother in his. In the middle of the night, my mom suspects it was around 2 to 3 a.m. but can't be certain. My parents wake up to a huge thud. Immediately,
That literally scared me. Sorry, you literally scared me. It was so loud.
Immediately, my parents jump up and hear my brother is awake calling for them. They rush into his room and he is laying down in the very center of the room on the floor with his blanket perfectly taut and draped on him, as though he was tucked into bed, but on the ground at least 5 feet from his bed. My parents pick him up and ask what happened. He responds, pointing to the closet, "It pushed me.
No.
The fox pushed me." My dad opens the closet, rifles through everything for an animal, and of course finds nothing. So this is weird, right? Why would a 3-year-old say such a thing? Well, in this moment, my parents remembered the last name of the old man that sold them the house. Fox. I shit you not. My parents freaked out on this. There were too many things going on. My mom refused to let herself or my brother stay in the house, especially since she was now pregnant with my sister. My dad decided he was going to take care of this. Again, he is not a superstitious man. He is a doctor and a man of logic. However, he knew there was something going on in this house. A night or two after the fox incident, my dad sat down in the living room and had a talk with the spirit of the house. He said this: "I don't know if you're real. I do not know if you are Mrs. Fox, but I do know this: you are going to stop. We are a peaceful and loving family. If you are Mrs. Fox, your husband would be ashamed of you. He wanted us to have our family here because he knew you would want it too. Just as you raised your family here, I want to do the same. You may stay here as long as you like, but you cannot do this to us anymore. I am sorry for your passing and for your pain, but you cannot take it out on us. My wife is pregnant, and you are causing her loads of stress. You even went after my son. This will stop, or I will seek out someone who will make it stop. Thank you. Good night." After this, nothing bad happened to my family again. There are no lights, no knocks, no more foxes. But, and this is the craziest thing, there was one final thing. In a wooden cabinet that my mom bought at a neighborhood garage sale a few days after they moved into the house, there was a card, an anniversary card. It said, "Happy anniversary, blank and blank, Fox." This was found 2 days after my parents' anniversary in June, after they moved the cabinet to the other side of the room. They had owned the cabinet since they moved into the house and had not seen the old man since they bought the house either. My parents have moved many times over the years and lost the card inevitably. We still have the cabinet. It sits in our cabin to this day. The end.
So wait, sorry, I'm confused about the card. It showed up.
Sorry, so the card said happy anniversary, parents' name and parents' name. From Fox.
But like after they've seen him, like it was just
Like after all of that, they found the card in an armoire or cabinet that they bought from a neighbor's garage sale.
Oh.
He said, he makes an edit. He said, I did have my parents' name in the card, but then he removed them. That's why it was blank and blank.
Oh, interesting. So they bought the armoire from someone else and it happened to have that letter in it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cabinet. I don't know why I said armoire, but cabinet.
Okay.
There's a small edit that he forgot to add in the original story. For when his brother was found in the middle of the room, after all the dust had settled, my parents started renovating. They wanted to put carpet in my brother's room, so they tore up the tile/fake flooring stuff, and to quote my dad, "Right where your fucking brother was laying on the Fox night, there was a blood stain." Mrs. Fox had died in the house, in my brother's room.
Oh.
She was very ill, but fell while trying to replace a light in the room.
Oh my god. That was the craziest one yet. That's insane. No, thank you. That's insane. I'm not sleeping tonight. Why be a mean ghost?
Why not? What else can you do as a ghost?
I feel like I would be a nice ghost.
I would not.
You would haunt people?
Fuck yeah.
Like, maybe it could be fun.
What else do you have to entertain yourself with?
That's true.
All right, that was the last story that I had from that Ask Reddit thread. Whew.